everyone. My name is Mr. A. Satish Kumar from Institute of Aeronautical Engineering College. Now I am going to teach today topic is losses in induction machines and the power flow diagram. Okay, so the various losses we have in the machines general in any case of AC machines and DC machines, we have the various losses we have. That is the constant losses and as well as the variable losses will have. So the total losses in electrical machines, that is in case of the AC machines or DC machines, you have the two types of the losses, that is the variable losses and the constant losses. Okay. Now coming to induction machine, also we have the various losses we have, that is the iron losses and the constant losses. Iron losses are also called as a constant losses. And also we have the variable losses and also mechanical losses we have. So you can observe this diagram. You have the total losses will be equal to the variable losses as well as the constant losses as well as this variable losses and the constant losses. And variable losses divided into different types and the constant losses will be divided into different types. But the total losses will be is equal to only variable losses plus constant losses only. Okay. Now coming to variable losses, we have the stator copper losses and the rotor copper loss we have. And coming to the constant losses, we have the iron losses we have and the mechanical losses we have. These two are the under category of the constant losses only. So now the iron losses again the classified into two types, that is the eddy current losses and the hysteresis losses. And the mechanical losses is classified into two types, that is the friction losses and the windage losses. Means the total losses will be is equal to the constant losses plus variable losses. Now under constant losses we have the two types, that is the iron losses plus mechanical losses. And the iron losses is classified into two types, eddy current losses plus hysteresis losses. And the mechanical losses is friction losses plus windage losses. Coming to variable losses, we have the stator copper loss and the rotor copper losses. Okay, so what are these losses we studied earlier only? Okay, so now depends on these losses, we have the power flow diagram in the induction machine. Now I'll discuss about the power flow diagram. Okay, so means an induction motor converts an electrical power supplied into the mechanical power. So means the various stages in this conversion into mechanical to the electrical or electrical to the mechanical. This is we discussed about in case of the induction motor. The induction motor is nothing but it converts the electrical power into mechanical power. So means in this conversion process, you have some power transfer stages will be there. Okay. So means the various stages in these conversions are called power transfer stages in induction motor. So now I'll discuss now. First we are giving the input here, that is motor input or stator input. Okay. So that is P in. Next I am giving the stator and iron and copper losses. This is the second stage. And the stator output or rotor output, that is the rotor input. We have the, in case of the induction machine, we have the stator winding is there and the rotor winding is there. The stator output is gives to the rotor input. That's why it is the third stage. What I am calling this is stator output or rotor input, that is P2. And the next is I am getting in the rotor copper losses, that is PC. And the mechanical power developed in the rotor or rotor output power, that is the mechanical output power I am getting in the rotor output, that is the PM. And at that mechanical power developed in the rotor, at that place I am getting the friction and windage losses, that is friction and windage losses. So finally where I am getting the motor or rotor output, that is the P output I am getting. So these are the power stages, that is the conversion in the electrical power to the mechanical power. So in between these conversion, that is the input power to the output power. So this is the power stages will be there in case of the induction motor. Now for example, I am giving three-phase power input to the induction motor, that is stator input I am giving. That is the stator input P in is equal to root 3 into VL into IL into cos pi I am getting. Okay. So then a part of this power is consumed in the stator, that is I am getting here iron and copper losses. That is stator iron losses and the stator copper losses I am getting. So means the remaining power is transferred inductively to the rotor through the air gap only. Okay. So means that is called as a rotor input, that is P2, that is I am calling here P2 is equal to P input power, that is the stator input power minus stator iron and copper losses. Then I am getting the P2, where this P2 is nothing but as a rotor input power. Okay. So then after that, this stage, what I am getting, this rotor losses is consisting of the majority of copper losses and very small rotor iron losses will be there. So this P2 will be consisting of what? Is consisting of the majority of copper losses and the very small rotor iron losses we have here. So means which are generally this stator iron losses will be generally we are neglected. So that's why this is P2 is called as a rotor copper losses only I am calling. Okay. So mean by subtracting the rotor copper losses from this P2, then we can get the gross mechanical power developed by the motor, that is P mechanical I am getting. That is the P mechanical will be is equal to subtracting from the P2, that is rotor copper losses, from the P2, that is P2 minus rotor copper losses, then I am getting P mechanical power developed in the motor, that is PM I am getting. Then after that, a part of this PM is consumed as mechanical losses and the remaining is the power available to the load at the shaft only. So means this is called as a net output power of the motor, that is P output power. Okay. So then this is the power stages in case of the induction motor. So first I am getting is the input power, then I am getting the P2 rotor input power, and thereafter that rotor copper losses, and this P2 is consisting of the rotor copper losses and the small rotor iron losses, but the small rotor iron losses will be neglected. So means if you are subtracting the rotor copper losses from this P2, then I am getting the mechanical power developed in the motor, that is the P mechanical will be is equal to P2 minus rotor copper losses. Then after that, at last stage I am getting the P mechanical is consumed to the mechanical losses and the remaining is the power available at the load at the shaft. That is called as a net output power of the motor, that is P output. So this is the power stages in case of the induction motor. Now we can give the relation between rotor input as well as the rotor copper loss and the rotor output. So we need to derive the relation between the rotor input power and the rotor copper losses and the rotor output power. So let I am taking P2 is the rotor input and I am taking the PC is the rotor copper losses and the PM is the gross mechanical power developed or rotor output power. So for these three I am finding the relation between this rotor input and the rotor copper loss and the rotor output. So then before that, where Tg is equal to gross torque developed by the rotor, that is in Newton meter. Okay. Then the actual torque available at the shaft is called as a, what I am calling, that is shaft torque or useful torque I am calling. Actual torque is available at the shaft, that torque I am calling as a shaft torque or useful torque. That is TSH will be is equal to gross torque I am calling. Okay. Or shaft torque. And the Tg is equal to torque loss due to the friction and windage losses. What is this Tg? Torque loss due to the friction and windage losses at the shaft. That is gross torque developed by the rotor in the Newton meter is also called torque loss due to the friction and windage losses I am calling. Okay. Now the input to the rotor is through the air gap with the help of a rotating magnetic field. We discussed in the earlier class only what is meant by rotating magnetic field. So depends on the rotating magnetic field only the rotor will be rotates. The principle of the induction motor will be depends on the rotating magnetic field only. So because of the induction machine its principle is same, but the same as the transformer only, that is the mutual induction but the transformer is the constant device or static device, but the induction machine is the rotating device, because of the secondary winding of the induction machine is rotor is rotating, but in case of the transformer, that is the constant only. So that's why I'm getting here rotating magnetic field. So means due to with help of the rotating magnetic field, which is rotating at the speed of ns, that is in terms of the revolution per minute. Okay, so then the rotor input can be expressed in terms of the gross torque and the speed, that will be is equal to Pt, rotor input for P2 is equal to 2 pi ns into Tg divided by 60, where Tg is the gross torque, where ns is the synchronous speed of the rotor. Okay, so then, so this is I'm taking the first equation. Okay, that is where P2, rotor input power, will be is equal to 2 pi ns into Tg divided by 60. This is I'm taking the first equation. Okay, so then now torque developed remains the same, but the rotor output, which is gross mechanical power developed Pm, is it a speed of 10 rpm, that is at the rotating speed. So from the output side, we can write that is the mechanical power will be is equal to 2 pi n into Tg divided by 60, where n is equal to rotor speed, Tg is equal to gross torque. Okay, so this is I'm taking the second equation. Now we know that the rotor copper losses will be is equal to equation Pc is equal to Pt minus Pm. Okay, where we can write here, I'm substituting this 192 equation. So here this first equation and the second equation I'm substituting in this third equation. Then I'm getting the Pc is equal to 2 pi into Tg divided by 60 into ns minus n. So because of I'm substituting here, you can assume here 2 pi ns into Tg divided by 60 minus 2 pi n into Tg divided by 60. From this equation I am getting the common 2 pi into Tg divided by 60, that is ns minus n I am getting. So this is I am calling third equation. Now dividing the equation 3 by 1, first equation, then I am getting Pc by P2 will be is equal to 2 pi Tg divided by 60 into ns minus n divided by, where P2 is equal to what? 2 pi into Tg divided by 60 into ns. Then if I'm simplifying this equation, then I'm getting ns minus n divided by ns I'm getting. Means I'm getting Pc divided by P2 equal to slip I'm getting. So then I'm writing the rotor copper losses will be is equal to slip into rotor input power. Okay, so this is the equation I am getting here. So what I'm finding here, the relation between the rotor input power and the rotor copper losses and the rotor output power. So now we derived here the rotor copper losses will be is equal to slip into rotor input power we derived. So then after that, this is I am taking the fourth. This is I am taking the fourth equation. Then after that, so rotor copper losses are slip times the rotor input I am getting here. Now gross mechanical power developed will be is equal to what? Pm will be is equal to P2 minus Pc. Depends on the equation. Then Pm is equal to P2 minus, where Pc is equal to, can I write the S into P2? Because of slip into rotor input power I am writing. That is the rotor copper losses will be is equal to slip into P2 I am writing. Then Pm will be is equal to, I am taking the common, that is P2 is a common I am taking, then I am getting 1 minus S into P2. This is the fifth equation I am taking. Okay, so means the gross mechanical power developed is 1 minus S times the rotor input power I am getting. So means this dividing equation, the 4 by this fifth equation, then we can get Pc divided by Pm will be is equal to S divided by 1 minus S. So depends on this all equation, we can get the P2 east, Pc east, Pm east will be is equal to 1 is to S is to 1 minus S. So this is the relation between the rotor input power and the rotor copper losses and the output power. So that is P2 is PC is PM will be is equal to 1 is to S is to 1 minus S. Depends on this relation, we need to find the solution for the induction machine problems. Okay, thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.